Hey there, you wonderful listeners. I have a question for you. Do you want to make a podcast? Well, Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily and then distribute it everywhere and even earn money all in one place and for free. How can you beat that? It's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here is how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify. And when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, there are Q&A and poll options available, and those are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free with no catch. Ever since I've discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it has made doing my shows like the Steam Machine Podcast, Yabs Pod, and the JRPG Report much, much easier to do. Like being able to just go on there, record them, upload it, boom, it's done. I don't have to pay for a site service to host or anything like that. It's fantastic. So I highly recommend that you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today. Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Steam Machine Podcast. My name is Dalton, and joining me as always is my good buddy.
This is Ryan.
And this week we are diving into a Double Fine production, and that game that we are talking about is Psychonauts. But before we go any further with that, is there any gaming news that you heard about this week, man? Anything at all?
Not really.
I know there's been some hype about the new consoles. I've been seeing people getting their controllers. They haven't got their consoles yet, but they're getting their peripherals, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm jealous because, you know, being a PC gamer is fun and dandy, but I still do like the consoles here and there. There's some console exclusives that I would like to play, and that PS5 is calling my name, but it is not calling my bank account.
My bank account, and if I was going to pick up the new console, it's probably going to be around tax time. But I know tax time, my primary focus is going to be building my PC. So
yeah, for sure, man. Because I mean, that'll do you better in the long run. Because I mean, your PC,
I'm not even really. I was super stoked about the PS5 at first. But gradually, I've been doing some reading and thinking about it, and it's like, even though there's going to be some like exclusive titles to the console, both like all of the major companies, except for maybe like Nintendo, has said that they're not going to really do exclusives for like the long term. So these games eventually, like maybe 2 years down the road, 3 years down the road, will get ported to PC.
Yeah, and I mean that's already started happening. So, if you looked at like Death Stranding's now on PC, Horizon Zero Dawn's now on PC. Yeah, I'm waiting for Spider-Man. I don't know if that'll happen though.
I don't know either.
Because that's
Sony likes to keep their shit on lock when it's for titles like that, where like Spider-Man not only is a huge video game, it's also a moneymaker movie wise. Like their Spider-Man. Their Spider-Man universe is taking off now with Venom and the Marvel Spider-Man movies actually connecting to that universe, and the animated Into the Spider-Verse movie was that was huge. That was an awesome movie.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Oh my god, if you haven't watched it yet, I would.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it up on Disney Plus yet?
It's on Netflix because it's a Sony movie.
Oh, okay.
Unless Disney somehow manages to pry the rights to Spider-Man back from Sony, I don't see it going up on Disney Plus anytime soon. All of the Marvel movies are on Disney Plus except for the Spider-Man movies.
Well, I mean that's kind of like the same thing with wasn't there a weird thing with like Fox owning X-Men for a while?
Well, all of those are on Disney now because Disney owns Fox. Disney owns the rights to all those movies now.
I got you.
So, yeah, the X-Men movies are up there for the most part. I think 1 through 3 are. I don't know about First Class or Apocalypse. Well, Apocalypse is up there, I think. But some of the newer ones I don't think are up there yet. but they'll get there eventually.
Yeah, for sure. Something else that I read that absolutely just, it doesn't surprise me, but the amount of it just absolutely blew my mind, and is that Activision / Blizzard, whatever you want to call them these days, made $1.2 billion from microtransactions in 3 months.
Predators. Capitalistic predators.
So much money.
They've done like clinical research on microtransactions with people. Like they had a bunch of people come in, and then they like gave them money to let them spend on games and stuff. And the games that are like pay to win and have like the microtransactions and the loot boxes and shit like that, purchasing those microtransactions and the loot boxes triggers like the same sensory things in the brain as gambling. Mm-hmm. And it is literally an addicting feature to these games. Like they are preying upon the human psyche and knowing how to trigger and take advantage of people.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. Like loot boxes and microtransactions should be illegal in my opinion. Like,
yeah, for sure. I completely
What happened to giving us the full game day one? Like
money, more money, more and more money.
Fucking capitalism.
Yeah, dude. It's all about that almighty dollar, dog. They got to get it. And I get that feeling because Phantasy Star Online 2, I spent $10 and got the currency or whatever and got the Persona crossover thing. And I didn't get one of the items I wanted, and I immediately wanted to spend another $10 to get more. And I told myself no. But like that want was there because I was like, fuck, I want to look like Joker. And you gave me Futaba's outfit. I'm not a female character, so like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this?
Yeah, no, they do that shit. They like their algorithms will designate certain items as like rare, ultra rare, shit like that, and then you only have like 1 out of like a 500 chance of getting one of those items and shit like that.
Brother,
it's like opening booster packs of Pokemon cards or Magic cards and shit. Like 1 out of like every 200 packs is going to get you that rare, like that mythical rare.
You're preaching to the choir with somebody who plays MMOs because, you want to camp rare monsters to kill them over and over and over trying to get a drop that the drop is 0.4%.
Yeah.
Fucking...
I saw a video on TikTok, and it was some chick gaming, and she's just sitting there, and she's got this super sad face on. It's like, when you've been playing WoW for 10 years and you still can't get the Headless Horseman saddle from the Halloween event, like...
fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
I've been trying for that for fucking years, dude.
People have been playing for years and still can't get some of this equipment drop.
No, I think that Headless Horseman mounts is 0.04% drop rate.
Yeah, it's something absolutely ridiculous. And it's like, I get that you want to create like a market for some of these in-game items and shit like that, but goddamn, don't be that fucking tight-lipped, like about it.
I will say that like you can't do anything with that mount other than learn it. Like you can't sell it or anything like that. So like it is just strictly just for people who are lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's no skill involved, or else I'd have got it. Because I go in there with my mage and I'm doing 50% of the damage of the dungeon. Like, by the way, I know this is not a World of Warcraft podcast or anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know what the fuck they've done with Frost Mage, but I do insane amounts of damage, and I am perfectly okay with it.
I don't know anything about WoW, so
I know you don't, but like,
yeah,
I
know the new expansion's out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks.
Like
November 23rd, I think, is when it drops.
I pre-ordered it, so
that might be my last day of work actually. So I don't know. Is WoW free to play at first, or is it you have to pay?
So I don't know how they're going to do. No, there's a free to play version. I don't know how they're going to do it with Shadowlands because it used to be max level was 120 and you could play up to level 19 for free to see if you liked it. Yeah. Now, if you're wanting to check out an MMO, there are some limitations to what you can actually do as far as chatting and trading and stuff. But Final Fantasy XIV Online, you can play the base expansion and the first expansion for free before you have to pay to play the rest of the stuff.
Well, I only have 18 business days left of work before I go on break from Thanksgiving until God, maybe middle of January at the earliest, depending on COVID. So I'm gonna have time for an MMO. Like,
well, we'll discuss that because there are a few different ones that we could dive into.
yeah.
Other things that I saw that were kind of this one was interesting. It just was posted a few minutes before we went live. Vampire the Masquerade is getting a battle royal game.
Nice.
And it's by the.
I know you're probably gonna be stoked about that. And we're not the biggest fan of battle royals, but if it's like a vampire battle royal, I'm sure you would get into it. Like,
yeah. I mean, I might check it out. It's made by Shark Mob Games. I've never heard of them. There's a teaser trailer.
Never heard of
I'm gonna
them
watch
either.
it when we go off air. But
yeah.
I do know that there are some other like RPG or not RPG. I'm sorry. There's some other Masquerade games that I haven't checked out. There's 2 visual novels. Coteries of New York and Shadows of New York. And I've never played that. But, like, Bloodlines 2, I don't know what's going on with it because, the first game was plagued by bullshit, and now they're doing the second one, and it was supposed to release this year, but it got delayed, and then a lot of the creative figures of the whole thing are gone.
Well, it's just going to, like...
It's
either going to be the same thing as number 1, where it's going to be just a cluster... like... a dumpster fire from day one with like very few patches, if any, or they're just gonna fucking can it and take their losses.
Oh god, I hope they don't can it.
So many game studios have been doing that lately. Movie studios have been doing that lately and stuff like that. They don't care for the popularity or anything like. They don't care how far into production they've gotten already. If they feel that it's not going to make them any money, they'll just take their fucking losses. Like, look at how many popular shows Netflix has canceled. How many movies have been pushed back, if not canceled fully because of the COVID pandemic. Like,
and I just want to say real quick, fuck clickbait, because I was on Facebook the other day and one of those articles was like, shows Netflix has canceled recently that you wouldn't believe, and the thumbnail was The Witcher, and I was like, bullshit. And I clicked and I read through the article and it didn't mention The Witcher at all, and I was like, you fucking dickheads.
Yeah, just fucking clickbait. It was probably one of those things, it's like 10 shows Netflix has canceled and 3 that they didn't.
Yeah.
I just for shits and gigs, I clicked through it the other day to see what they canceled and what they renewed, and finally we got word that they renewed not just the next season of The Dragon Prince, but they're going to let them actually fill out the full 7-book saga of The Dragon Prince, which I'm super stoked for, because those guys who did that show also did Avatar. They're great at world building and shit like that.
Nice.
They canceled the Big show, which I'm super sad about, because that show was fucking awesome.
What? That show just came out.
Yep, only 1 season canceled. Like, why? WWE Network should just pick it up. Like,
yeah, I agree. WWE Network could do that.
Did you watch any of the Big show?
I haven't yet, but it's on my list.
Oh my god, it's so good, and I don't understand why they can't. Like, I get why they canceled it, because COVID has fucked a lot of shit up. Like, but I don't know. They also canceled Altered Carbon, which is a show that I've been meaning to get into, but they're not going to finish it now, so I don't even know if I want to get into it. Like,
well, it's like I watched oh god, what was it called? Penny Dreadful?
Yeah.
And I watched the first 2 seasons, and I just read online that people are like, don't watch the 3rd season because nothing really wraps up, and then nothing ever happened after that. So I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I think they're coming out with a new Penny Dreadful show. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think if it is Penny Dreadful, it's going to take place in like early 1900s Los Angeles. So it's going to be very noir, very grim, and like that old school black and white, like private investigator type of thing.
Yeah,
but I want to say it's going to focus kind of around like the Black Dahlia murder. Like,
well, that would be pretty cool.
So it's LA's a pretty fucked up city. Like, they got their definite dark history around there. So
absolutely.
A show like Penny Dreadful could do wonders with it. I'm surprised American Horror Story hasn't done something very similar to like an early Los Angeles noir style serial killer season. Like,
I almost want to tell Tyler from Tadpog that he should take his Piggy Palace campaign that he wrote for Call of Cthulhu and pitch it to American Horror Story, because that shit, man, it was like 16 podcasts long, and worth every fucking minute of it. It was so wild.
He should just write it up as a screenplay and do his own show. Like it may like. I don't know anything about it, but the way you're reacting to it and seemed like relating it to American Horror Story, that would be cool. But American Horror Story won't pick it up unless it connects with everything else that they've ever done. They don't just do one-offs. Everything is serially connected, like one way or another.
Not to give a ton of spoilers, but I mean, it could be worked out that maybe like the Coven would be plotting to help summon Cthulhu or something to end. It would be weird, but it's just an example. You know what I mean? But like, dude, it could be something. It could be something for sure.
Nah. I think it'll be hard to top South Park and their Cthulhu cult. Like,
oh my god. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey there, little guy.
I've been playing the Stick of Truth lately a little bit too.
Oh, that's a great game. Have you walked into the random houses yet?
Yeah, I have. Saw Craig's mom naked, and
I was gonna say, you see the naked lady and then the dude fucking a donkey or something. Like
yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, let's get to our game of the week, which is Psychonauts.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read the obligatory section from Wikipedia. It was the Psychonauts is a platforming game developed by Double Fine Productions that first released in 2005. And I want to say that the first time I ever played this game was on Xbox. Like original
I think mine
Xbox.
was PlayStation 2.
It came out, that would make sense because it came out for Windows, Xbox, and PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And it says Bud Cat Creations helped with the PlayStation 2 port. And then in 2011, Double Fine acquired the rights for the title, allowing the company to republish the title with updates for modern gaming systems. And then I think that's when I got it for PS4 and stuff as well. Yeah. When it was released. It follows the player Rasputin, or as Raz, as most people call him, a young boy gifted with psychic abilities who runs away from the circus, trying to sneak into a summer camp for those with similar powers to become a psychonaut, which is a spy with psychic abilities. Mm-hmm. And then once you're in the camp, you discover a sinister plot, yada yada yada. That is where the game begins. Well, you don't know the sinister plot when you first start out. It's kind of just all these kids are the usual camp fare of, that particular camp, the general guy, he'll kill you. He's killed 4 kids. He threw 10 kids off a cliff. He made 20 kids eat their own brain.
Yeah, and it's funny because as you're going through like the tutorial obstacle course or whatever, you see like 4 or 5 people fucking blow up in front of you with the general laughing like right after.
Yeah, he does clarify. He's like, they just get kicked out of my astral projection. Yeah, it's kicking them out of their mind, and I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Mm-hmm. I will say that this game did not sell well. It was pretty much a flop.
Yeah. I remember it being like a flop, but it was one of those instant cult classics. The people who actually did play this game fucking love it. I love this game. I haven't played it since the PS2 days, but picking it back up and starting through that tutorial, it came back to me really fast. This playthrough was almost like a speed run. I think HowLongToBeat.com says this is like a 12.5 hour gameplay main story. And I'm 50% through the game in just 3.5 hours.
Yeah. I mean, once you know what to do and where to look for stuff, it's really not super hard. Yeah. You are correct that this game gained a cult following, and it says that this game is also now, in these days, been considered one of the greatest video games ever made.
Oh, I believe it. Like, this game was great.
The writing is fantastic.
Yep, the writing is... The animation style is a little wonky for me. Like, it's strange. It is.
It's definitely strange. It is,
but it works. Because there was nothing, I guess, around that time very similar in animation style. It stood out on its own.
Oh, no. This was like a Tim Burton game, almost. Like,
almost.
Like, as opposed to, like, all the prettiness that was going on with the other games trying to look as good as they can. This one decided to go for a quirky type look. It's almost like Okame, which is on our list eventually. Okame, that art style is awesome. It looks all hand drawn and stuff. It looks really cool. A sequel to Psychonauts just called Psychonauts 2 was announced at the Game Awards in December of 2015 and is planned to release next year in 2021.
Ooh, if it hasn't been delayed because of COVID.
Yeah, and in our library, but not part of our list because I don't have an Oculus and you don't have an Oculus. But nope. I have Psychonauts and the Rhombus of Ruin, which is a VR game.
Well, tax time, depending on how cheap I can build a PC, I might be picking up a VR system. But there is a catch to that. If I want a VR system, I have to play Resident Evil first. And that's coming from Corinne.
I was going to say, was that laid onto you by the lady?
It was. Corinne says if I want a VR system, I have to play Resident Evil.
Oh my God. And you have to do that when I can watch you on Discord so I can just laugh at you.
Yeah. I've already, since we've already played through the game, I might be able to do it a little better, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it like fully immersed like VR does. Like,
take some Dramamine before.
I don't get motion sickness. The VR doesn't bother me.
Lucky fuck, dude.
The VR doesn't bother me.
Lucky fuck. I know my buddy Dustin. I was watching him play Ace Combat 7 in VR, and I was like, man, be careful. Just like barrel rolling can fuck you up, and he just starts.
Oh yeah, no, that will fuck you up. Like the flight simulators and stuff like that in VR will definitely fuck you up.
He did it no problem, and it blew my mind. Like, I was like, dude, how? What? How? How are you not spewing everywhere?
Some people can do that and shit like that. I know I will probably have some issues with games that have to deal with like heights from a great distance. Like if you're standing on like the edge of a cliff and say like Skyrim or something and looking down, the vertigo will probably fuck with me a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I have Wipeout. The Wipeout HD collection on my PS4, and that's got a VR version, and I just haven't done it yet because I don't know how I'd handle driving at those speeds while being still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that would throw my equilibrium off. But anyways, back to Psychonauts. When you first start out, the game is fucking hilarious. Like, that is one thing I want to tout about this game is that the writing is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah.
You're kind of just able to wander around the little campground area and talk to your characters and kind of get to know some of these kids that you were in this thing with, and you're eventually trying to make your way up to where the general is at, and you go into his mind, and that's like the tutorial, and the mind he puts you in is like a fucking battle war, like just battle zone.
Yeah,
there's fucking explosions and gunfire, and there's just actual fire everywhere. It's fantastic.
Gunfire, fire, explosions, mines. He's got this obstacle course like fucking teed up to be like only somebody who is actually worth a damn is going to pass it.
Yeah. My favorite part of this whole thing was there's a certain spot where you get to, you have to solve this certain puzzle, and I can't remember quite what the puzzle was, but I remember the two cheerleader people were standing there like, go Raz, and you complete it, and the general's like, here's your reward, and he just blows them to
that's the first point section where you have to smash the targets that pop up around you.
Yeah, that's right. And you don't hit the friendly ones. I did it first try, and he's like, oh, here's your reward. Yeah, it just blows them up.
Here's your reward. You gotta get like 20 points in 30 seconds. And then the second time around is you gotta get 30 points in 75 seconds.
And another thing that you're looking for in these worlds is arrowheads, which are your currency in the game. And also, you want to find tags. You'll see these floating tags. And you want to get those because you are in people's minds. So if you have the tag, you can help them deal with their emotional baggage, which is literally...
I love that it's called emotional baggage.
It's literally crying suitcases and hat cases and purses.
It is. It's hilarious. I was like, the first time... I remember playing this game when it first came out on the PS2, and I was like, why is this trunk sad? And then I read the tag, and it's like emotional baggage, and I was like, that's funny. Like, and then I come across it again when I loaded up, and I was like, I forgot that you have to find the emotional baggage.
And you'll also see a bunch of like floating neon colored things, and they're figments. Yeah, they are figments of people's imaginations, which I think is really cool too.
Collecting the figments helps you go up in psychic rank, which is cool.
Yeah, I believe to the point that I got to, which, full disclosure, I did not beat this game, but I have beaten it before.
Yeah, same.
But I think I'm ranked 30 or so, 32, something like that.
Yeah, once you get up there around, I think 30 is when you can learn invisibility.
That's where I'm at is learning invisibility to get into that lady's mind, and I got the cobweb duster, so I've been going around doing stuff with that. Nice. Most of your enemies in the mental world are these things called sensors, which are basically these little dudes in suits with sensor stamps that run around trying to get you, because their job is to help your mind block stuff out, even if you want it there. Like
they're essentially
you can't remember something, it's because of a sensor.
Yeah, they're essentially agents in the Matrix. Like,
yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're not supposed to be here, so we're going to treat you like a bug in a glitch, and we're going to try to get you out. Like,
so the plot ends up coming around to kids' brains are being stolen. Like, you go inside of Raz's brain, and he is seeing these weird things inside of his own mind's manifestation. And it turns out that the brains of their kids are being stolen. And poor Dogen, dude, everybody you tell, like, I saw them steal Dogen's brain. He doesn't have a brain anymore. They're like, oh no, that's just how Dogen is. That's just how he is.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. They give him a little more credit than that. And your
just a little bit more.
And then your little friend Lily, like, she wants you, after you learn a couple more things, she wants you to meet her by the lake. She's like, meet me here. And you guys discover that there's this thing going on, and the only people that can stop it is you two. And she's just like, we should make out. And Raz is like, what? And she goes, I'm sorry, I just got overworked or overhandled. I'm just thinking that we're here and she's going on this old thing talking about what they're gonna do, and Raz is like, did you say make out? And then she's like talking some more, and he's like, make out like kiss? Like, he's still stuck on that. And then she picks up the flower, which ends up being attached to the giant fish thing.
Yeah.
And it swallows her and goes underwater, and that's when you have to jump into the big, like, underwater helmet thing. I don't remember the name of it. God, I should start writing these things down. I used to be so good about taking notes.
Yeah.
And you jump into that, and you go under the water, and that's when you have to fight the large fish monster. And this thing...
That's, are you talking about, God, is that Lungfishopolis, right?
Well, yeah, that's where you're going to eventually end up, is Lungfishopolis. Yeah. You have to do stuff, and you have to basically fight this fish, and it's sucking in the air and then blowing it back out. And whenever it sucks in the air, you have to hit these crates, and the crates of bones fly into its throat and choke it.
Yeah.
So you do this a couple times, and then you have to do these, like, platforming running sections where you have to stay within this air bubble and run through, and then eventually you're able to fight him again. And then it comes to a normal fight where you are face to face with the fish in this little city type area, and there's some shells around, and what you want to do is you want to stand behind the shells, so when that thing comes at you and swings his tentacle, it gets stuck in the shell, and then you can kick its ass. And once you figure that out, you slap a door on its brain, and you go in there to defeat the implanted chip inside of its head that is making it do the general's bidding, is what you think it's just. So you go in, and that is when you are in Lungfishopolis.
Yeah.
And dude, I felt like it was an ode to Rampage. That's what it made me feel like the old Rampage series, because it's just getting to run around and smash buildings and stepping on these little people and squishing them. And the people would yell out things that were hilarious. They were just like, "Oh no, he's going for the orphanage."
Yeah.
"Oh wait a minute, he already got the orphanage." And then one kid's like, "He destroyed my school. Hooray!" And then you would free these prisoner dudes that were part of this Lungfish rebellion that were fighting against the Kalimdor? Kalimdor? It was something like that. And you have to, I think it was Kamador. I don't know. Somebody will correct us in the comments on the episode.
Probably. So
you're these guys, you free them, and they're like, freedom, freedom, freedom. There was always the one guy at the end who's just like, freedom.
Yeah.
So you end up making your way through, and you end up having to fight this like superhero version of the general. And Raz is even like, dude, I know it's you. Like, where are you projecting this from? And you beat him up, you climb up the tower, you destroy the thing, you come out of the fish, and the fish is like, thank you for saving me. And he's like, you may call me by what the name my people have given me. And Raz is like, what's that? Like, what is it? And the guy's, Linda.
God damn it.
Yeah, dude. And then you get swallowed by him. And you end up having to try to save Lily. And this is where you get taken to this other point and taken out of the lake and all of that. And then you end up outside of this. I skipped this cutscene. I'm not going to lie. I didn't mean to, but I dropped my controller and it skipped the cutscene. So you end up outside of this building area. And it's like there's a big metal gate and there's this crazy fucking dude who's just like talking to himself and babbling. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
I gotta step away for a second. Hold on.
You're good. You end up outside of this place. You end up having to go into the Milkman's. So the Milkman conspiracy level is the one that I at least wanted to get to this point before we recorded the episode. So I was glad that I did, because this is most
this level
ridiculous.
seems to be a favorite amongst a lot of the people who really love this game.
That is because of the writing in this level. So you're inside the mind of this absolute fucking psycho. Like, dude has lost his fucking marbles.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out what happened to the Milkman. And he's like, well, the Milkman's dead. We have to figure out what happened to the Milkman. And he sends you out on this quest. And you end up in this area that's like a neighborhood, but it wraps around itself. And you have to run in these weird angles. It's almost like, do you remember in Inception when like you were running down the road and then like another road to your left would be going straight up, but if you jumped to it, the gravity would shift? It's kind of the same theory.
Yeah.
But what makes this the best area in the game to me is the G-Men quotes, and I have some pulled up. I'm going to read to you. So like, in order to get past some of the G-Men, you have to go around this area and find, a stop sign to get past the road crew. So like, when you go to the road crew, they're like, the guys will look at you and Raz will be like, I have a stop sign, I'm on the road crew. And the guy will be like, hello, fellow road crew worker, welcome to the road crew. Yes, we are all on the road crew. Our backs are killing us. My red sign helps me work on the road. Slow to 15 miles per hour. Thank goodness it is Friday. I cannot wait until next payday. They're all super proper. And if you go into their little areas without the required item, they will swarm you and just be like, what do you know about the Milkman? Where's the Milkman? How much do you know about the Milkman? So all this stuff, they're trying to figure it out. You got to get a hedge trimmer. You have to get a phone. The hedge trimmer G-Men are like, I'm glad that you are here to help us to trim these hedges. Cutting the bush does not hurt it at all. This part of the hedge is too tall. Hedges become unruly over time and need to be trimmed. I take frequent breaks to avoid carpal tunnel syndrome. I cannot let someone near my hedges who has not been properly trained in the use of trimmers. There's ridiculous things. But my favorite are the housewife ones. Okay, so I'm not going to bug you with most of them, but the housewife ones is like, hello, welcome to my house. Please stay and make pie. I am making a pie. Rhubarb is a controversial pie flavor. This rolling pin is a tool I use to make pie.
Oh my god.
Pies are delicious. This is my house and I am responsible for its upkeep. For the last several years I have relied on prescription medication to make it through the days. Although over time my husband will desire me less sexual, he will always enjoy my pies. Though I do not receive a paycheck, I consider my homemaking to be my occupation. It's like, when my husband excessively drinks, I may threaten him with this rolling pin, although we are still very much in love.
Like you were saying earlier, the writing in this game is ridiculous. Yeah, it truly is.
If you go up and click on him and Raz will say, I am baking a pie. It was fun. You better not try and steal my husband, tramp. I love it. I love it. You end up getting to the end, though, and the Milkman is underground in like this sealed tomb thing, and you have to fight this crazy lady, which
the Den Mother.
Yeah, the Den Mother. And the cool part about this fight is that about halfway through it, everything goes dark, and you have to use clairvoyance to see through her eyes, and then do the rest of the fight from that way. And it was really cool. And after that is when you have to get up to the tower. And I need invisibility to go inside the lady's mind, and I don't have it. So that's where I'm at. Yeah. And I don't think we're going to do a part 2 on this just because we've played it before. But, man, to anybody who has never played Psychonauts before, do not judge it by the fact that we're not finishing it. Because this is a fan-fucking-tastic game. Like, this might be my first perfect score game. Like, just because I know how good it is. Yeah. But I think that... Dude, it's aged well. Mm-hmm. It's some of those games from back then are fucking hard to go back to.
Yeah, they are, for sure. But this one seems like it would have done better if it was released today than it was, God, years ago.
Yeah,
like,
which makes me really wonder and hopeful for Psychonauts 2 to see what they can do with that.
Yeah.
And I hope that it's coming to PC.
Yeah.
And it's not one of these quote unquote console exclusives for a year or two, so we can just get into it when it comes out.
Yeah.
Raz is an awesome character. Like, you really get to like him. I also like Agent Cruller, the crazy ass old man. How he's just in your head, and anytime you need to talk to him, he gives you a piece of bacon, and you take that bacon, you wave it by your ear, and he pops out of your ear, and you can ask him for hints and stuff. It's absolutely hilarious. And then Agent...
oh, I didn't know this.
What was his...
Did you know Psychonauts 2 was crowdfunded?
No, I did not.
Yeah, interesting.
That's
apparently
awesome.
Psychonauts has enough of a cult following that crowdfunding was enough to get them the money to start the production on the sequel. Nice.
Oleander, that was the guy's name.
Yeah.
And then Sasha 9, that's the agent Sasha. Oleander is the general guy. That's what it was. I could not remember his name. It was bugging the shit out of me. But what a game. Like, Cruller he's got like split personalities. So like when you meet him and he trains you in your new abilities and stuff down in the bottom of the lair in his secret lab. He tells you, if you see me in the rest of the park, don't act like you know who I am, because it'll ruin my disguise. But really, it's just because he's fucking nuts and he's got dissociative identity disorder. So when he's in other places, he just doesn't recognize you. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. I would give this 9.5 arrowheads out of 10.
I'm gonna go like an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. Like, it's a solid game. It really is. It really is. But I don't know. It's like it's just one of those like cult classics. Like, the game with its devout following, it still isn't really a big game. It's a hidden gem. Could have been a little better. Like, the animation style still gets me. Like, it's weird.
Did you know
it's weird
that if you go in the bathroom and turn the light off and light a candle and say the words hidden gem 5 times, metal Jesus will appear?
I was gonna say, you have to go in there, turn the lights off, and if you woo into the mirror 16 times, Ric Flair shows up.
No, there's a YouTuber I watch named Metal Jesus who's always doing hidden gems videos, and people like to pick on him about the hidden gems things. So like I said, I fully recommend this. I know that I was talking to some people on the Factory Sealed group about Psychonauts, and
I saw some stuff on the Facebook wall today about the post on Psychonauts, and God, half a dozen people, 7 people were like, love this game.
Yeah.
It's like, why did you tell me it's on the PlayStation 4? I hate you, Dalton. Now I bought it. Like,
oh yeah, that guy, he's like, God damn it, Dalton. Yeah, and then Hazel, which is Mike's wife, was like, I've heard good things, I've never played it. And I was like, well, you need to tell Mike to buy it for you.
Yeah.
Because it's really good. So as for the rest of the month, I went ahead and laid it out. I platform November.
Yeah, hit me with it.
So
hit me with it.
First up, our game is going to be... Oh, man, hold on. Of course, I go to pull it open and it clicks off. November's list. Steamy.
Didn't you send me?
I will say Steamy was good to us. So, like, number 1... our next game that we're playing is Cuphead.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wanting to check out this game, but I know of the legendary difficulty of this game. Like,
I really look forward to... Dude, the art style is so cool.
Yeah,
it's like playing an old cartoon. It's awesome.
I really dig the art style. It's very similar to, like, what is that, Bendy in the Ink Machine? Like, yeah. It's that old throwback Nickelodeon cartoon, not like the channel Nickelodeon, but like the old school black and white, like silent cartoons from
I would say
20s, 30s.
Yeah, I would say more like Disney, like old Mickey, like Steamboat Willie type stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The week after that, we've got Wonder Boy and the Dragon's Trap. Now, this was a remake of an old Master System game.
Interesting.
And the cool thing about it is in the settings on that game, you can actually switch it to look like the old game. on the fly.
Oh, that's cool.
So like you can just be running around and be like, oh, I wonder what this area looked like back in the day, and you can just hit a button and it'll put it all back to the super. And you can play with the pretty version of the game with the old school retro music, or you could play with the old retro but the new music. Like you could swap it all around. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Week after that, we've got Oddworld, Munch's Odyssey.
God, Oddworld, those games were difficult.
Yeah, and I've never played Munch's Odyssey.
I think I touched on that one a little bit.
Like the one that I played the most of was Abe's Exodus, which is also
yeah.
And then
I know that's on there. I almost downloaded it the other day just to give it a go.
To round out the end of the month.
I've been installing a bunch of the games off the library.
Yeah.
Just for shits and gigs. Like earlier today, I was playing some Portal, which God, that was a fucking speed run for me. I think I maybe played about 45 minutes, and I'm already up to like puzzle 14, puzzle 15.
Well, speaking of Portal, that's Portal 2 is the last game for us this month.
Nice.
So we'll be wrapping out the month with Portal 2.
Nice.
And I've never played Portal 2.
Portal 2 is fun.
I've only played a little bit of Portal 1, so.
Oh man, maybe we should do Portal 1 and 2.
Oh, we could maybe we'll do that, but we'll that might go into the next month, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But I'm actually looking forward to Cuphead. I want to see how far I can get in that game.
Reading about this and talking to people who have played it before, I am probably going to get extremely frustrated with this game and give up before even beating level 1. Like they tell me this game is like old school Nintendo hard.
It's controller breakingly hard.
It is.
It really is.
And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm also not looking forward to it because me, super casual gamer, like I don't have the patience or the drive to master the hard games. Like, give me something stupid easy and call it a day. Like, but we'll see how far I get into Cuphead. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. On that note, man, is there anything else that you want to touch on?
No, I think we just about covered everything today. Like not too much news in the gaming world as of right now. I know, what is it? We were talking about Shadowlands dropping this month, November.
Yes. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I got some time off, so maybe we can get the Discord server going and get some more streaming and stuff going while I'm on break and everything like that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Game with some listeners. That would be sweet.
And then we still have one more key for Rise of the Triad, so maybe we can sling that out at somebody.
For sure. Did you ever get a hold of Hans and give him that?
Yep. He got that. He accepted that. So
awesome.
That's good. We'll have to, when we pull that up, see if he will join us or something.
Yeah, that would be great. And like I mentioned on the last episode, but I'll bring it up here again too. I guess we're gonna work in Crazy Taxi at some point, so we can have our buddy Matt on.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's start talking about that and planning something maybe for late December or something around there, around that time.
Yeah, because I know that's not going to be a game that's going to take a whole week, so maybe we can do that when you're on your break and that at some point. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, in that case, if you would like to find us on social media, you can go to facebook.com/The Steam Machine Podcast, or you can find us on Twitter at Steam_podcast. And on YouTube, we do YouTube versions. I'm usually slacking for like 2 weeks at a time, and then I upload them in batches, but you'll have a few new contents to listen to at the same time. It'll be great. And you just search for the Steam Machine Podcast, and we will be there. You know what? I've never done this before. Do you like our intro and outro song? If you do, go to Bandcamp and search for Nile the Nightmare. And that the album Voiceless Stories is the album that has our intro song on it. And he's a good dude. And by that, I mean it's me. So... So if you want,
if you like our song, please buy it. Please, it helps me so much.
Yeah, it does. It does, especially in these COVID times. It helps a lot. So, in any case, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Pretty please. It helps us climb up those ranks and weave through some of those podcasts that have a lot of 5-star ranks but haven't been active for a few years. You know, we got to get through that. But, we appreciate all of you for listening and joining us here every week on the Steam Machine Podcast. He's Ryan. I'm Dalton. And as always, guys, take it easy.